Hey, Pastor Steve Waldron, I'm so thankful you're here with us. We're looking at the origin of the development of the doctrine of the Trinity. And what a great book this is. And young man in Anderson, Indiana, I think he goes to the St. Clair's Church up there. I've been there once, many years ago, probably 15 years ago. It's got some recommendations by Professor David G. Brown from Indiana Bible College, Jeremy L. Lang, Dr. Divinity, founder of Biblical Hebrew Academy Online, and Luke St. Clair, pastor of First Pentecostal Church, Anderson. I think John Jones used to be there as well. And this is by Stephen Gill. He got his degree from Indiana Wesleyan, I think it is. Let's read a little bit on this. It's kind of a larger book. It's really good. Been reading through it. Taking the reader on a journey through 7 centuries of religious thought, the history and development of the doctrine of the Trinity tells the story of how Trinitarianism became one of the most ubiquitous dogmas in Christianity. And I will say, in many people's minds, a foundational doctrine. Following the movement of Hellenism or Grecianism around the world, the book guides the reader through one of the most transitory periods of Israel's political history, the Jewish revolt, the wars against Greeks and Roman empires. Following the close of the first century, history and development of the doctrine of Trinity examines the stories of the earliest Christian martyrs, the great epics of the Roman Empire, and the subsequent impact that they had on the Christian movement. Last, the book settles on the peculiar era of Roman tetrarchy and the birth of the Byzantine Empire. In every era, the reader discovers significant that politics, philosophy, and paganism the ancient world had on Christian thought. And that's true. You know, the more I study that era of time, and even the church councils, you know, if you read the background on the church councils, there was a lot of politics that went on. It wasn't, I read the decrees and the decretals of the Council of Councils. Well, there was a lot of times even that sanitized from what was really promoted there, why they were doing certain things. So this is first edition, 222, Stephen Gill, produced in the United States of America. To all who have ever been awakened by the past, inspired by the present, or believed in the future. So let's look at some of this table of contents. You have Alexander the Great and the Persian campaign. He doesn't go all the way back to Babel or something like that. The Seleucid Greeks, Hellenism and Jewish thought, early Christian opposition to Hellenism, first century perspectives on Jesus of Nazareth, the Jewish revolt, Hellenism and Christian life, the riddle of Tertullian, which is fascinating, persecution and the tetrarchy, unconquered Constantine, who believed in Mithra, the three-headed god. There's been a lot of great studies on that. Marvin Arnold has good stuff on that. The Roman Christ, the triumph of Byzantium, and then Coda, Harvard Divinity School Symposium, 368, Oneness Pentecostalism, the role of separation by Esther Gill Hypes. So some interesting things here. He goes into all dates in this volume are written using the BCE CE designations opposed to more traditional BC AD. This is a formatting decision to not reflect personal bias against the traditional format. I go with AD and BC. Remember, I did a little video on that many years ago. Brother Mooney actually commented this. You need to keep doing that. Let's go into, where was it here? 134, about Jesus in the first century. And then we're going to look a little bit about the Harvard Symposium. So this is first century looks at Jesus. Paul's letter to the Colossians, this is on page 141, seems to support the notion that the early Christians identified the person of Jesus Christ with the totality of the Godhead. For in him dwelleth all the fullness of the Godhead bodily, and you're complete in him. Notice not them. And so they believed as Jesus is God. Again, the writer, he's talking about James, uses the phrase God and the Father, given the consistent Christian emphasis on the oneness of God throughout the New Testament, as well as Jesus' commitment to the traditional Deuteronomic view of the personhood of God. It would seem intellectually dishonest to assume that the Father and Son language of the New Testament was written in order to bifurcate the Godhead. More than likely, it was used to disclose the humanity of Jesus Christ while continuing to associate his messiahship with the God of Israel. So great stuff like that. He's very detailed in his analysis. I'm looking at a little picture he's got here, two-piece porphyry statue of the Tetrarchy located in the corner of the facade of St. Mark's Basilica in Venice, Greece. And this would be persecution and Tetrarchy, which was horrible persecution. Let's go to the Harvard part here. Oneness Pentecostalism, Role Separation contributor Esther Gill Hypes, editor for the 221 edition, Stephen N. Gill. Aspects of Oneness Pentecostalism, separation, a historic response to conflict. It's got some things by Morris Golder, Fred Foster, Tim Weir, Michael Harper, Martin Marty, old Lutheran guy, sources of Oneness Pentecostal separation, all kinds of stuff in here. So he's writing some great books. Let's read a little bit of biography about him. So this book's almost 400 pages. He resides in Anderson, Indiana, where he serves as a minister at First Pentecostal Church under the leadership of Pastor Luke St. Clair. After graduating from Indiana Wesleyan in 2018, he began to pursue a career writing and teaching in biblical studies. He's an adjunct instructor for church history for Biblical Hebrew Academy Online, founded by Jeremy L. Lang, Doctor of Divinity 219. He's also a Bible teacher for his local church. You know, great book, lots of themes. It's written from a oneness perspective, but from any perspective, a lot of great history here, tremendous view. May want to get this book. So God bless. I'll pick this up on Amazon. We'll talk with you later. Check out our other videos, reviews, share with your friends and family, put it on social media. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.